Welcome to St. Charles MMA. So, what do these two dudes have in common, and why is the UFC so upset with them? Okay, let's go ahead. Let's start with Ihor Potieria. The UFC is so upset with Potieria, and let me tell you why. January 2023, Potieria gets in the cage in Brazil, fights Shogun Rua, Mauricio Rua, the legendary, wins, is gloating in his face, yelling, all this stuff when he beats him. I believe he stops him. Yeah, stops him in the first. Just makes a whole scene about beating old man Rua. That was it. The UFC had it. That was it. They were done. They were done. They were done. Who does he fight next? Carlos Olberg, who's bodying dudes at light heavyweight. That's his next fight. Okay, maybe that was just rankings wise. It just made sense. Okay, Rodolfo Bellato, a dude who's knocking dudes out. That's the next fight. Robert Brzezek. If you look at Robert, let's just go. Let's walk through these real quick. Carlos Solberg, before he fought Potieria, how was he doing? Oh yeah, knocking dudes out in the first round. Okay. Rodolfo Bellato, before he fought Potieria, knocking dudes out in the first round. Okay, interesting. Robert Brzezek, how is he doing? Knocking dudes out in the first round. Okay, that's interesting. That's really interesting. That's so interesting. Michel Pereira. We already know. Knocking dudes out in the first round. Did a backflip. On Potieria. His feet landed on his head, and it wasn't a no contest. Cesar Almeida. That might have been one where they actually decided to have some mercy on him, to be real with you. But even then, if Almeida wasn't going to decision with dudes like Kopylov, he's knocking a lot of dudes out. Went to decision with Fernando at Dana White's Contender Series, but knocked out Budka. Had a nice back and forth with Kopylov. Okay. This is who they've had Ihor Potieria fighting ever since that Rua fight. Isn't that interesting? Right? You mess with a legend in that way. You disrespect them in that way. Just like all the fans were upset. This is how the UFC answered. Okay? And if Potieria doesn't get cut, which I don't think he's got cut yet, I promise you, look out for his next fight. He just fought a few weeks ago. But look out for his next fight, probably sometime next year. I promise you they're going to give him a killer. They're going to give him a killer. Waldo Cortez Acosta. Okay. We've caught this early on. Okay. We have caught this early on. We have caught this before it turned into Potieria. Okay. Cortez Acosta, a good heavyweight. All right. He's not a bad heavyweight. But when he fought Andrei Arlovsky, a legend, yelling in his face, making a whole scene. That's it. He got fed to the Robelis de Spain train. And he derailed that train. He derailed Robelis de Spain. He showed that he really was just a hype train. And I'm worried for Cortez Acosta. I think they're going to give him someone who is going to body him. I really do think they're upset about the Arlovsky fight. I don't think they would have gave him the Spain fight right away after that. If not. they were not trying to set up Cortez Acosta for success. He was supposed to be a victim to Rubelas Spain. Okay, Despain, if I could find it. I mean, Despain got absolutely that was just embarrassing. But the goal was for him to be handled just like, that's annoying. The goal was for him to be handled just like Parisian. That was the goal. That's what they wanted. That is what they wanted. That is what they wanted. That's what we all wanted. Not because necessarily we were upset with Cortez Acosta. I didn't really care that much about that one, but we all wanted Despain to be an absolute monster, an absolute animal, but he's not. Unfortunately, not yet. He could be. He's only 36, heavyweight. He got a few years in him. He could do something serious, but as of right now, hype train derailed. So the fact that he beat Rubelas Spain and made it a decision win too, I'm concerned for him too. And that was back in May. He could fight by the end of the year. Just watch out for it. Just watch out for it. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him like I'm trying to think of someone who would just body him. I just wouldn't be surprised if they gave him someone up, someone in the rankings, maybe. Like someone just in the rankings who they know would put work on him. I really would not be surprised. But that's it for this. Let me know if y'all caught on to this before I mentioned it. And let me know if there's any other fighters that you've noticed this with. Thanks for watching St. Charles MMA. God bless.